Hello, this is Inside the Press Box with Sunil Sunder Raj of the Everyday Fan Sports. I'm happy to be speaking today with NJIT women's basketball junior guard Kenna Squier. Kenna, thank you so much again for taking some time out to speak with me today about the upcoming 2021-22 regular season. Before we came on the air, super excited about this season and experienced roster. So thank you so much, Kenna.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Can you talk about, just how everything's been progressing as far as, preparing for this season, with the team, said the players, your teammates, coaching staff. I just had to ask you right off the bat about that, Kenna.
Yeah, it's amazing that we're all in the gym together this year. We have 17 girls on the roster, which as long as I've been here, we've never come close to that. So the gym has just been so full of energy, and everyone's working so hard in practice every day, and the environment has just been amazing. So the progress that we've made throughout the couple years that I've been here is just incredible.
What was that moment for you just coming back onto campus, said, especially after what, this past year is presented with the COVID-19 pandemic and still dealing with it, but just to get back, and now you have a normal schedule as far as with classes, and then this season, because you were used to playing back-to-back games on the weekend, so now it's going to be during the week now, so I'm sure that's going to be a welcome relief for you and the rest of the team.
Yeah, it's going to be hopefully in all the best ways a lot different from last year, and it's just going to be so amazing to have our families able to come to our games and have fans there. And as much as we made the back-to-back games work, it wasn't always ideal. So we're really looking forward to this year.
Okay, walk me through the journey of last season. Just terms of getting ready for it, and then playing again. Said having to wait until the weekends to play, and I know it later in the season there were games that were postponed. Nothing to do with NJIT. Women's basketball was on the other end. So you guys did a great job in terms of keeping safe and sound and following all the protocols. I just had to ask you about that, Kenna.
Yeah, it was honestly so amazing on our part that we didn't have any positive cases during the whole season last year, which I don't think happened to any other team in our conference. But really, it was just a crazy season. We didn't know when our first games were going to be. Even going into the week of the games, we didn't know, we could be going to get on the bus and they could tell us, no, the other team has a positive case, you guys aren't playing this week. You just really never knew what was going to happen. And so I think that we did a really great job of handling that, and everyone was always ready at all times to play, and we weren't thinking oh, we might not play this weekend. We were always ready to go. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's just credit to us and how well prepared we were despite the circumstances.
I know you guys went through your growing pains in terms of the record, first year in the America East Conference, but you guys started out with a flourish. Becoming the first, program in NJIT athletics to win an America East Conference game, at New Hampshire. You scored 19 points in that game. When you look back on last season, and then the fact that you guys were able to go out to UMass Lowell, play in an America East tournament game, get that experience under the belt. Just had to ask you, what those experiences, were like for you, Kenna.
Yeah, so my freshman year, we didn't get the opportunity to play in the conference tournament at the end of the year. So being able to play in that last year was such an amazing experience. And tournament play is very different than regular season, and in ways that you wouldn't really understand. The stakes are so much higher, and so being the first win in the American East for NJIT was honestly it felt like an honor, kind of, that we were able to do that for our school and get that win. And it's a game that I don't think any of us, at least, will ever forget.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm wondering, when you were walking off that court for the final time, what was going through your mind at that point, knowing it said, I'm sure that a certain period of time, said you reflect on the season, and, of course, getting ready for the following season, but just what were the emotions, and just the vibes, just not only on the court, but even in the locker room as well?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there was a bunch of disappointment after losing that game to UMass Lowell. But really all that I was thinking was how there's so much more work that we can do for this coming year, and so much more progress that we had to make. And I was just excited to, start to change at least our record in the conference and just get a bunch more wins. And that's all I was thinking about was I want next year to be better, and then the next year after that to be better. And so I was very disappointed in the loss, but it was mostly just thinking like, what progress do we need to make?
Yeah. Hey, you led the team in scoring last season, 10.6 points per game, free throw shooting 81%. We talked about before we came in the area. I mean, having Ellen Stoll, come back is just, huge for you guys. And then, I mean, Lizzie Litwinko, what can you say about, you talk about phenomenal freshman year. I mean, being named to the all rookie team in the America East Conference and being named rookie of the week, I think, what was it, 5 times to her? I mean, she did it all. I mean, I said we talked to her yesterday, just the fact that she was able to, score, rebound, dish out, assist. I mean, you have some, pieces in place here, in terms of, as you said, the depth, 17, girls on this roster. There's a lot of potential for this year. And the fact that a lot of players, coming back this year, and again, with that experience under their belt, last year, I mean, sky's the limit for you guys, said not only now, but for years to come here.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we have every single person coming back from last year is just incredible. And when we did find out that Ellen was going to come back, like, it was the best feeling in the world. We were so excited. And that's when we were like, this season is going to be like, this should be one of our best seasons like ever. And so that really gave us like an extra boost to want to work extra hard. And so we really do have like an insane amount of depth. And with my class having 5 juniors and then 6 now sophomores, there's like a bunch of people right there. So just the fact that we have so many returners and 2 really great freshmen, our depth is going to be like crazy this year. So we're so excited about that.
No, definitely. We talked about before we came on the air about, fans, students, alumni coming back to the WEC, one of the most beautiful, I mean, just a magnificent facility. There's so many adjectives you can use with the Wellness and Event Center. But for you, what is it? I mean, to play under those bright lights, again, with, a pretty, good sized crowd, there in attendance in 3 weeks, what that moment is like, and the fact that you have such a great, said facility with strength and conditioning, Bobby Fisk there. I mean, what is that? I mean, it just, again, it must be a pure joy, like, coming, to that place every day. And then, of course, when you have to, when it's game time in 3 weeks, that's just going to be electrifying, Kenna.
Yeah, I mean, the support system that we have all throughout the WEC is just amazing, all the way from Lenny all the way down, and especially Coach Fisk, he's amazing.
Yeah.
And just the fact that this year we're going to be able to have fans, like, is such a game changer. I know last year they tried their best to make it as realistic as possible with, playing fan crowd noises and stuff, but it just really wasn't the same. So there's just going to be a different level of energy. Being able to see your family sitting there watching you, and it's not like a cardboard cutout, like it's actually them. So that's just going to be like, that's an amazing feeling. And you want to perform and you want to show out for all those people that are there to see you. And so the energy is just so much different when there's a crowd. And I think that we did do a really good job last year of, kind of trying to fight through them not being there, and we still have quite a bit of energy, but I think it's just going to be different this year when you can look up and your mom and dad are there like cheering you on.
Oh yeah, they're I agree 100% with you. Don't want to forget about this outstanding coaching staff led by head coach Mike Lane in his 4th season. You have Latonya Watson, Coach Aaron Gratch, and also Sarah Mitchell. Just, I mean, an experience-led group. I'm sure that you guys have, of course, relied on and just have a great relationship with. Can you just talk about that? Just that support system and just what they've meant to you, Kenna?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's more than their coaching staff. I don't want to sound like cheesy or anything, but after just 3 years, it's like they become almost like family. And they're people that care about you and you care about them. And so it's not just, oh, you're doing this wrong in practice and you need to do this better. Like, no, they actually care about us. And I can't really speak for other programs, but that's something that I think is incredibly special that we have, is the fact that I know that 1 through 4, and also shout out to Anissa Ardovo.
Yes,
but
exactly.
yeah, 1 through 5, really, I know that they all they care about us so much, and they will do really anything. I know if anything happened, I could just call them up, and they would be there to help, and they wouldn't be upset at me. They just want to try and help me. So that's like the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to forget. So I mentioned, yesterday talking to Lizzie, but also Stephanie Polari, said you mentioned Lenny Kaplan, Peg Heffernan, and of course President Dr. Joel Bloom. I mean, just you talk about just a solid, it said administration, athletics, working on the same page and level, and have been together for an extended period of time, which really benefits. I said you guys.
Yeah, I knew that it was going to be a special relationship, that all of the administration and staff and everything that we all have, when it was one of my first times here on campus, and Lenny was speaking to the athletes as a whole, and he said, I want every single freshman to come to my office, excuse me, and introduce themselves to me, every single one. And I thought to myself, like, that's a lot of athletes that he wants to come meet him. And we did. Everyone went and met him, and he knows every single person by name. Like, it's incredible how much these people really care about us as individual athletes. And I just think it's really incredible.
I mean, now, as you said, entering your junior year, I'm wondering, I said that first time, as a freshman, walked onto this campus and you made that decision. Just, what goes to your mind, knowing, as I said, it's a couple of years later now. I mean, time is flying by so quickly, but just every year, how much, it's gotten better for you. Can you just talk about that, Kenna?
Yeah, I mean, I was obviously like a scared little freshman coming on. But you really adapt so quickly, especially here. And everyone here makes it so easy. All the girls were all so close, it's just really easy to adapt. And when I think about the fact that I'm a junior, it doesn't feel real to me, because I still think I'm a little freshman who has no idea what's going on. But no, I'm a junior. I don't, it just feels not real to think that almost 3 years has gone by already. And I guess that's kind of an attest to how amazing this place is and the program is, because it doesn't feel like I've been dragging it on or whatever. It's gone so fast. Time flies when you're having fun. So yeah.
That's great. That's great. Just have a couple more left. Ken, thank you for the time, Kenna. I wanted to actually switch back to the basketball side, because this schedule is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. You guys are taking on, some major, programs here in the beginning. I mean, after Wagner, it's away at Marquette and Wisconsin. I mean, playing the Big East and Big Ten. But I think Coach Lane, he echoed it. Same thing with Lizzie, is that you guys are not backing down from this challenge. It's you want to play the best competition out there. You're, in addition, playing LIU, Central Connecticut State, FDU, St. Peter's, Rider, Lafayette, Monmouth, and St. Francis of Brooklyn. I mean, that's even before you get into the, the American East Conference opener on December 30th. So I wanted to ask you, just again, being able to, travel out of state, play these teams. I'm sure, putting, said NJIT women's basketball on the map already was, said beforehand, but, I said again, to just enhance it even further. Can you just talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously playing Wisconsin and Marquette might seem like this big scary thing, but honestly, I don't think we're afraid of them. They're obviously amazing programs and very, very talented people, but we're up for a challenge. And the only way that I think we're going to get better is by challenging ourselves and playing against this competition who's very, very, very good. Yeah. So I think that's how we're going to get better. And we'll learn a lot about ourselves through that. And it'll kind of expose all the things that we need to get better at as a team, which is why I think it's very good that we're playing those teams early on in the season, so that we can learn what we need to get better at before the conference starts, by playing these amazing teams that are kind of going to show us those flaws. And again, like I said, we're not backing down from them. We're not afraid. And we're definitely up for the challenge. I think it's going to be a really great experience.
Just talking about the Murky East Conference. I mean, Stony Brook won it last year, they believe, in the tournament, and now you guys open up with Stony Brook, followed by Maine, and then UMass Lowell. So, I mean, you're going to get right there. You're going to, see where you guys measure up. But, looking at how you guys performed even last year, you guys went toe to toe with a lot of these teams. There were close games, and they came down to the final couple of minutes, Kenna.
Yeah. All of those teams that you mentioned, we played close games with, and like we were talking about before, we have everyone coming back.
Yeah.
I know that they can't say the same for their teams, and so I think we're in a really great position. And those were, I believe, top 3 maybe in the conference last year, and so we're looking to be on top of the conference, and that means that one of them is going to get booted out of there. And so I'm excited to see who that happens to. But yeah, we're not afraid of them, and we're ready to give them some really good games and hopefully give them some L's as well.
It's well said. Well put. I had to ask you, asked Lizzie this yesterday, putting on that NJIT Highlanders jersey, the number 4 jersey. You put it on now here, said for now, this give you 3rd year. What does that jersey number, and of course that jersey, mean to you every time, you take the court?
Yeah. I mean, just the fact that it has New Jersey on it. I've lived in New Jersey my whole life, so I love that I can represent New Jersey by wearing that. And it also represents to me like the family that we have and all the time that we've put in and all the effort and the blood, sweat, and tears that we've put in. And every time that I put it on, honestly, I think like I don't want to let these people down. I want to make everyone here proud. And so that's something that I'm thinking every time that we step out on the floor, every time I put on that jersey, and that's something that's really important to me. So yeah. That's
great. Okay, we know it's just not about athletics, it's academics, and NJIT is it's demanding. It's, the rigors, said of being a student athlete, and, said, again, you've been able to just, again, do an exceptional job. I mean, they said a 2-time all academic, team honoree, science, technology, and society major. Can you just talk about that aspect? I mean, just being able to, again, handle that flawlessly. I mean, it's not easy, but you've been able to do a tremendous job at that. Can you talk about that, Kenna?
Yeah, so I actually have made a major change.
Okay.
So yeah,
Right.
I am now an interior design major, which is
very
very
nice.
different from
Okay.
before.
All right.
And so it's not something you would typically think about when you think of NJIT Technology School. But I think that's what's so cool about it is that what we're doing is we're kind of combining technology with the design aspect, and so it's a lot of like 3D modeling, things like that. So it's time consuming things. And that with the basketball aspect, it does take up a lot of time. But it's 2 things that I absolutely love. I love the interior design program, and I love basketball. And when it's something that you love, it doesn't feel like, oh, I have to go do this. I have to go work on this project for 5 hours. You know what I mean? So it's just like I'm having fun here doing school and basketball. And although sometimes it is hard to balance, when you love it, it doesn't bother you.
You talked about the closeness of this team, a very close-knit group, on and off the court, because especially off the court, that's just so important. I was thinking about it just now that, having that chemistry and of course, when you're in game action, you need to be on the same page, but off the court, I had to ask you, how good does that feel that, is it to be around, the rest of your teammates as well?
Yeah, I would say that this year we are probably the closest that we've ever been, 1 through 17, and so you would think like seeing these people every single day, like for hours and hours, and during the winter break, it's the only people that you see, like maybe you would get tired of them, but that's going to be farther from the truth. Like, these are my best friends. This is like my family. And so just the fact that we all love each other, we all care about each other, it translates onto the court. And I think that especially this year, it's like very noticeable. You can tell we're all on the same page. We all care about each other. We all want each other to succeed. And I think that that's extremely important. And from things that I've heard, that's not the case in every program. So I'm incredibly thankful that I'm part of a program where 1 through 17, everyone deeply, deeply cares about each other on and off the court.
That's terrific. Okay, Kenna, you're going to have the last word here. It's a question. What is your message to the fan base out there? The NJIT, said fans, locally, nationally, students, alumni, they're going to be watching this for the 2021-22 season.
I would just say, like, your support means more than any of you probably even know. Like, just the fact that there's so many people out there that care about NJIT women's basketball just means so much to know. And I would also say, like, come out this year, come up to the games. Like, now that we have the opportunity, I don't think anyone should take anything for granted anymore. So come out and support, and we're looking forward to seeing everyone there and supporting us. So.
That's great. It almost skipped my mind is the growth of women's basketball. I had to ask you about it. I think it's an important topic. We've seen it in the WNBA, and it just again popped into my head. I have these questions, but I thought it'd be great to ask you, that to see how much women's college basketball has grown, throughout the years, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, especially I think in the past few years, and you can see it even outside of college basketball with the WNBA finals that just took place. It's something that's grown to the point where everyone's talking about it. I follow a ton of basketball pages on Instagram, and it's not like just women's basketball pages, it's basketball in general. And when I was kind of growing up, I didn't see so many women's basketball things on the internet, on social media. But now when I'm scrolling through, like, especially after these finals and after the tournament, March Madness tournament last year, like, women's basketball is on the map. Like, people are paying attention to it. People are putting respect on it. And I think that that's something that hasn't been the case in the past. And it's just so exciting to see that it's growing so much and people are taking a lot more interest in it. So I'm excited to see kind of where it moves forward in the future. Sounds good.
Well said. All right, Ken, I can't thank you enough for the time. It's, again, really great to be back in touch with you. And, looking forward to covering, NJIT women's basketball for a second year in a row, especially in person, and wishing you and the rest of the team and coaching staff all the best in the 2021-22 season.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Thank you.